Fellas, you know why this feels like an ambush and why it feels like women aren't taking accountability? It's because women did take accountability, but it looked different. Their accountability was raising them kids. Their accountability was dealing with that pain that you caused. Their accountability was laying prostrate on the ground, crying out to God and working with him, praying to him and asking him to relieve them of that pain and that trauma that you caused. Yeah, the accountability was working the 2 and 3 jobs to take care of the kids that you helped her create, but that you abandoned. Yeah, the accountability was her going to therapy and possibly being put on medication so she can remain calm and have a clear mind.
Are these women crazy? Honest to God, I'm just going to ask a question. Are y'all crazy? Do y'all realize that y'all asked for the thing that y'all put yourselves in a position to deal with? Don't you understand that the government basically incentivized y'all to break up y'all families and y'all took the bait, hook, line, and sinker, and now you got to swim upstream and you can't make it? And so as a result, you saying that you went to school, but in reality, all you did was put yourself in debt. That's not taking accountability. That's not even admitting that you were. Taking accountability is admitting that you're wrong. Taking accountability means taking ownership of the situation and then stop weaponizing your children against the father. Taking accountability is you admitting that you picked the wrong guy and that you chose to have children with him instead of trying to get mad at the guy that you knew wasn't shit, that was going to come back and then basically sleep on your couch, bust you down, but not necessarily send you no child support. Taking accountability is realizing that you should have married before you carried, and you should have, and you probably passed up on the man that was supposed to be your husband. That is what taking accountability is. And what taking accountability does is it prevents you and the future generations from making the same mistake over again. Instead of feeling as though you are powerful, I am woman, hear me roar, yes, we have been held accountable. No, you haven't. No, you have not been held accountable, not even a little bit. And this is why y'all got such bad attitudes right now. And it's unfortunate because every time you actually point a mirror at a woman, I'm not even saying go off on her. Point a mirror at her and let her know who she is and tell her about herself, or even gently confront her to help her to understand how she needs to move differently so that she can get better results. You know what they do? 9 times out of 10, they buck up. 9 times out of 10, they got an excuse. 9 times out of 10, they gonna tell you what it is that they feel, and they gonna try to turn it around and make it seem like it's your fault that they are the way that they are, instead of taking ownership and responsibility and accountability of their circumstance and their situation. Listen, if you had a child out of wedlock, you don't get a gold star for raising a child that you basically bred, right? How about all of the women that basically is committing paternity fraud? Why are women advocating against updating family court laws? Why are women vehemently against paternity at birth? That's not taking accountability. That's not taking responsibility. Just because you raised your son to be feminine, just because you put your family at a disposition, just because you feel like you're a victim does not mean that you are a victim. And more importantly, it doesn't mean that you took responsibility and accountability. Let's hear a little bit more and then we're going to go from there.
That was the accountability. You didn't have no, you see, your accountability comes later. Because those who are last shall be first, and those who are first shall be last. So your accountability came later when you thought you got off scot-free.
Oh, she
This
thought
is
she
what's
ate.
happening.
Hey, she thought she thought she ate on that one, fam.
I'm explaining to you what's happening. This is what's happening. Yeah. See, this is why you have to be careful of how you treat people. And you have to know who it is that you're dealing with, because some of these hearts that you broken was God's daughters. Yeah, they were his daughters. There were women that he were really fond of. And now it's time for you to suffer the consequences.
What the fuck does that even mean, yo? No, no, honestly. Like, I don't know if this woman is from Louisiana and she got some voodoo or something like that. And I'm always going to put a link in the description back to the people. But what the fuck does that even mean? What is that? Don't you realize that women are worse off long term after divorce than men are? Don't you realize that not taking accountability doesn't necessarily justify your actions? All it does is prevent you from growing. And what is paying the price, paying the consequences? What does that even mean? Men at large are winning. And I hate to break into baby girl, but if you look at the latest unemployment numbers, women, black women specifically, are disproportionately affected. Y'all got to stop breaking up your homes. You got to stop making excuses. You got to stop blaming the man. You got to stop blaming the racism. You got to stop picking wrong. You got to stop turning your sons gay. And you got to stop whining about it and running in the victim Olympics. Listen, this is what you advocated for. This is what you asked for. You believe in equal pay for equal rights. Obviously, we know that you're against consequences, though. Equal results for that. And so that's one of the reasons why y'all so angry at diversity, equity, and inclusion. We seen the way that y'all voted on the last election. Most of y'all are still part of the Democrat plantation. Y'all don't even know God, because I don't even know most women that don't even start reading their Bible until they in their late 50s and they've already suffered enough. And so now they trying to atone for their sins, or they ain't got nothing else better to do other than to play bingo and then become cat ladies. So then they become a part of the church. And then that's why you see so many women that's a part of the church. I don't see it. Somebody in the chat, somebody right now, y'all help me to understand. Y'all bring me some insight. Help me to see how men are paying the price for whatever it is that she's talking about. Most men don't have children out of wedlock. Most men are not out here suffering. Majority of women have single baby mamas, and the majority of women are having those children with a minority of the men. So, they can sit here and gaslight you and try to sit there, and I know, of course, it's always gonna be some simps in the chat that's in their DMs or is commenting on their pictures and all of that shit. We don't even care about that no more. Let them dudes suffer. Those are gonna be the step baby daddies, the step crash dummies of tomorrow. So it is what it is. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm curious as to what y'all think about what this woman is saying. Make sure you let us know inside of the chat. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley 40% off your first order, 20% off of life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm getting up out of here, man.